Here's a big question for you. Do women prefer oral sex or intercourse? And the answer is it depends, and I'm going to explain why in this video. If you go out there, right, and you take a 30-year-old woman who's only ever experienced clitoral orgasms, she will almost certainly tell you that she prefers oral sex to intercourse. And the reason why she prefers oral sex is very simple. She prefers the oral sex because it provides that clitoral stimulation that she needs, or thinks she needs, to experience orgasm. So put yourself in her shoes for just a second. When a man goes down on her and licks her clit, she experiences orgasm, and that's very pleasurable for her. Her reality, at least to this point in her life, is that when a man's inside her, thrusting in and out of her, having intercourse, she doesn't orgasm. So it's pretty obvious that she's going to feel like oral sex is more enjoyable than intercourse. She's going to prefer oral sex to intercourse. And you'll see loads of surveys that back up this idea. You'll see women ask the question, which part of sex do you like best? And they'll say oral sex. But here's the thing. That's complete bullshit. Don't get me wrong, oral sex is great. But I can tell you for a fact that when you know how to give your woman vaginal orgasms and you make her vaginally orgasmic during intercourse, she will prefer the intercourse to oral sex. In fact, she'll enjoy it 10 times over. Just think about the difference. When you go down on your woman and be between her legs, she's kind of focused all on that clitoral stimulation that you're giving her. She can sort of see your eyes and she can see your nose and your tongue's lost on her clit and she's rubbing your head and she's going like that and, you know, that's oral sex. But when you get on top of your woman, right, and you look her in the eye dominantly and you're thrusting in and out of her hard and deep and you're talking dirty to her and she's coming over and over again without rubbing her clit, you're giving her multiple vaginal orgasms during intercourse, that gives her a level of pleasure that oral sex just can't come close. That gives her a level of pleasure that is completely mind-blowing and completely addictive. Trust me, women don't get addicted to oral sex. I know that to be true for a fact because loads and loads of men write to me and say, hey, you know, Adam, I just don't get it. I give her a clitoral orgasm every time and we used to have sex every day and now she never wants it. 2 years later, 3 years later, 3 months later, 5 years later. Doesn't matter the time frame, it happens over and over again. Man and woman get together, they're excited because it's all new. They have sex every day or at least a few times a week. If he's at least half decent in bed, he gives her one clitoral orgasm every time. And her sex drive is quite high. She wants to have sex every day or nearly every day, sometimes twice a day. And that lasts for 3 months or 6 months or a couple of years. I've experienced this myself before I figured this whole women and sex thing out. I experienced this myself when I was 19 years old. Got in a relationship with this girl called Sarah. I gave her a clitoral orgasm every single time, usually via oral sex. We had sex every day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day for about 6 months. And then I remember after 8 or 9 months, it very quickly went downhill and she never seemed to want sex. Then I figured some things out. And I realised that when you give a woman vaginal orgasms, she cannot get enough of the sex. She wants it 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day. She wants it more than you. Sometimes you can't keep up. It's a nice problem to have. You know, sometimes you just give her a fingering session because you've already done it 5 times that day and you need a bit of a break. You know, women have this insatiable appetite for sex, but it only comes to life when you give them the vaginal orgasms. I'm telling you, as good as oral sex is, use it as a warm-up. Give your woman an oral orgasm. You know, lick her clit during foreplay to get her hot, wet and horny. And then fuck her senseless and give her multiple vaginal orgasms. Make her come over and over again. Don't let her rub her clit during intercourse and don't rub it for her. You've already done that. You've already given her a clitoral orgasm during foreplay. That's cool, that's fine. That's done and dusted. When the time comes for intercourse, you got to go really dominant. You got to move her around. You got to let her show her who's boss. You got to be physical. You got to be a little bit rough. You know, when you're fucking her on top, look her in the eye. Be very dominant. Use a lot of dirty talk. When you're fucking her from behind, grab her hair. Put your hands on her shoulders and pull her back onto you. And give her those multiple vaginal orgasms during intercourse. Every woman can experience multiple vaginal orgasms, both from fingering and during intercourse. Every woman. If she has a vagina and a brain, she's good. She's ready to go. And I understand that this will offend some women. Some women will watch this and say, well, I need clitoral stimulation in order to have an orgasm. No, you don't. That's just your version of reality. That's what you've experienced to this point in time in your life. And it's not really your fault. Just that, like many women, you've only ever been with guys who only know how to rub the clitoris. Or maybe you've been with guys who don't even know that and you've never had an orgasm. Many women, depending on the studies you read, something like 10 to 30% of women have never had an orgasm. And yet when I go to bed with my girlfriend, I give her 10 orgasms, I give her 20 orgasms. Sometimes she has these really weird orgasms, and I cannot explain how they work, but she has these weird orgasms that last like half an hour. I'll be inside her, thrusting in and out of her in different positions, she won't stop coming. I can't tell you the science behind how that works, but I know how it works on a basic level. I'm dominant and I lead her, and I talk dirty. That's it, that's all there is to it. And I made her vaginally orgasmic using the correct fingering techniques a long time ago. This isn't open to debate, this isn't my opinion, it's a fact. Women prefer intercourse when the intercourse is good. If all you do is what most guys do, if you just take your woman to bed and you lick her clit, give her an orgasm, and then you put your dick inside and you pump away at her like a rabbit for about 5 minutes and there's no eye contact, there's no dominance, you don't talk dirty, then you pull out and blow a little load for her in silence, yeah, she's not going to enjoy that bit. She's going to think that bit was pretty shit and she's just going to be glad when you're done. But she will have enjoyed the oral sex because you gave her an orgasm. But when you give her that oral sex orgasm, and then you give her multiple vaginal orgasms during intercourse, and more, maybe you give her anal orgasms during intercourse. Maybe you give her blowjob orgasms, where you talk her into orgasm as she sucks your cock. That's possible. Maybe you give her spanking orgasms, nipple orgasms, lip orgasms, ear orgasms. When you do all that stuff, the oral sex, it's somewhere down the hierarchy of amazing sexual techniques. She's still going to enjoy it. It's still a great thing, don't get me wrong. But nothing can compare to getting inside your woman, fucking her like a boss, and giving her orgasm after orgasm after orgasm. And your ability to do that has nothing to do with the way you look or how big or small your dick is or how fat or thin it is. It has everything to do with your ability to dominantly lead your woman and fuck her like a boss and use a lot of dirty talk. And then actually, if you want to learn how to be that dominant, dirty talking, sexually creative, orgasm-giving stud that every woman secretly wants, needs and craves, but most women sadly will never meet because there's not many of these guys to go around, you need my Bedroom Boss program. And you can learn more about Bedroom Boss by clicking the link directly below this video. I suggest you do that now, you won't regret it.